In this video, I will explain how to make calls from SAP integration suite to Salesforce. For this, basically, there is a bare minimum setup that we need to do in Salesforce. That is to create a connected app. So that will generate a client ID, client secret for us. And if we want to use uh, JWT authentication, so we can generate a certificate and append it to the connected app and pass the private key to the SAP integration suite. So that's how, and we need the Salesforce user um, uh, that will access the resources into Salesforce from the integration suite. And also, we will see three different types, basically how to query data and how to create data into Salesforce. And also when we do some DML operations, how to generate streaming events and those streaming events, how to capture it into inside SAP integration suite. So here I created a connected app, SAP BTP trial. So basically that will generate the consumer key and consumer secret, which are client ID, client secret. And then I also generated a digital certificate and private key. I have it. So, and also the bare minimum thing on the manage side, we need to say which profile or which permission set this a connect app should be accessible for. And with that, that is the setup that is needed on Salesforce side. And on the BTP, on the monitor security material. So basically, we will need to say what is the login URL. Basically, what is the user credential that if at all we want to go with the basic credential. With client ID, client secret, we need a user credential, which is username, password, and the client ID, client secret. So that is for one flow. I will use it in the query operation. And then there is a JWT thing. So that's where we need the client secret as separate. And the next thing is the JWT key. We store it under uh, the key store. So yeah, that's the key store, that Salesforce JWT key. And the first thing is how to query data. Potentially, let's assume some system is needing access from Salesforce. Some data it has to query or it wants to query. So then we expose this using HTTPS adapter. We can expose endpoint. So that is kind of the third external system. So that will make call to SAP integration suite. As it is generating the endpoint. So that's the endpoint. We will use that one from Postman, and basically whatever from the Postman we will pass. So basically we'll take that in, and we will pass that one to the query. So here I'm actually storing this information into SOCL query property, and that's the one I'm using inside the query for querying. So with that setup, the rest of this stuff is kind of not needed for this tutorial. Basically, how we pass the query and how we retrieve the result and how we see it. So now from Postman, I already authenticated the integration suite. So now that's the endpoint that we were talking about. Now, if I make a call, so let's say only need the ID name industry from account. So potentially it will give us all those results here. So since on the integration flow is selected as XML response. That's why it is giving XML, and we see there are about 22 records. So that's how we query data from external system to to Salesforce using integration suite. So next one is how we can create the data. So again, I'm going to use Postman as an external system here, and we will pass some payload to create account. Again, same thing here. So it will generate an endpoint SF create account. And so here, whatever we are passing through the Postman, so we'll just take it and send it to the Salesforce adapter. And so here I'm using the uh, uh, JWT authentication. As you see, the client ID, and I'm passing the JWT key from the key store, and this is the username, and that is the endpoint. So one small thing I forgot to show for the query. So basically here I'm using the client credential, which is with the username password basic authentication. So here we will use that username password and also that client credential, where we pass the client ID, client secret. So coming back to the create data, so we are using again Salesforce adapter, and so here we are using REST APIs, and we are saying, okay, we want to create an account. Yes, object, and here we are saying we want the response in the JSON. And now coming back here from Postman, so if I say, okay, I want to create some account here, so that's the account, and we'll see when we fire this guy. So basically, it is going to create some record to Salesforce. And now, again, since we know we created this guy, SAP IS3. Now, if we query here, so this is the IS2 is the last record, and we have 22 records earlier. Now, if we make a query, so now we see that is 23 records, and also that new account is already there, and that is this guy. So basically, that account is going to match with this uh, here. So that's how we create an account from external system into Salesforce via BTP. And the third one is how we, let's say, if we enable change data capture or maybe platform events in Salesforce, and how to consume that information within integration suite. So here, basically, I created a flow that runs every 2 minutes, and it is storing the payload replay ID. And next time when it runs after 2 minutes, basically it's taking from that replay ID and query data. So this is the kind of polling that is doing. And here again, I'm using client credential. Potentially, we can use JWT authentication as well. And so here we'll say what is the last replay ID, and from there, and we are trying to get account change events here. So that's the event processing here. So if at all there are any records, it is going to log it and then update the replay ID, and that way when it comes next time, basically it takes it from the last replay ID. Now I have this guy basically monitoring happening. So now if you see, we query 2 times, so we got that one, and then this 2048. So potentially this must be our last account that was created. Let's see here, source message log. In here, let's see what is the account. Yeah, so basically we are already seeing the test SAP IS 3 account that we created as part of that. So in that shows basically how we can access information from Salesforce within integration suite. Basically, we have seen three use cases: one to query data, two to create data, and three to see the event streaming from Salesforce. And I have this blog that I created, that explains pretty much what I have covered in the video. Um, Thank you.